Alright, Chargers fans, boy am I happy to talk to you today. Justin Herbert and the LA Chargers, as we know, took down the Kansas City Chiefs, took down the dynasty. It's early, it doesn't mean too much. I know I'm excited too. I know the Chargers have a great chance, but pump the brakes a little bit. Still a lot to talk about, but of course, a lot of that is going to be positive towards the LA Chargers. I'm going to be getting into the breakdown, the takeaways, but more so, I'm going to be talking about how Justin Herbert is changing the Chargers as a whole, not just this game and what this means as a team, as an organization, as a franchise, how Justin Herbert is changing the Los Angeles Chargers, what I'm going to be going over. But before I do, I got to hear from you guys. The AFC is crazy. AFC West, more specifically. Raiders 3-0, Broncos 3-0, Chargers 2-1, Chiefs 1-2, Chargers and Raiders play in Week 4. Who is winning this division? Who is winning the AFC West? Comment down below what your answer is, and I'll give my prediction at the end. Getting straight into it, though, like I said, LA Chargers took down the Kansas City Chiefs away in Kansas City. Justin Herbert taking off 281 yards, 4 touchdowns, rating of 125 flat. I know you guys can't see. Let me see if I can pull it up a little. Mahomes, 81.6, rating 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. I don't care what you call this game. Luck. I don't care what you call it. Outplaying them. Who wanted it more? The Chargers came away with the win, and that's what mattered. And I was concerned about the Chargers, not so just this game specifically, but these next 4 games, more specifically the next 3, because the Chiefs was the 4th one. But the weeks of 3 through 6, where they had the Chiefs, then the Raiders, and I think the Browns and Ravens. That is a tough road. And I said if they could come out 2-2, that's a win. Those are 4 arguable playoff teams, at least as they're looking as of right now. And if they could come out 500 in that time span, the Chargers are going to be a playoff team, and they already got a pretty good head start. And they're looking strong. Best takeaway from this game is the turnovers. This benefited to the Chargers to the nth degree. They weren't perfect. They try to keep the Chiefs in the game by having penalty after penalty in the red zone. Them in those damn illegal shifts is going to kill them. That is going to be the end of the LA Chargers. But I want to make this a positive video. Mike Williams took off. Austin Eckler took off. Keenan Allen, somewhat quiet, but he still had an impact. No doubt got his first touchdown of the year. Donald Parham had only 1 catch, but it was an impactful catch. Jalen Guyton, I would have liked to see him grab a couple snags. There were a couple catchable balls that were 50-50, but I think he should have came down with them. And the Chargers looked good. Asante Samuel Jr. is panning out to be a good defensive rookie. I don't know if anyone else is watching him, but I think he's... I don't want to speak for the NFL fans in general, but to me, he's slightly under the radar right now, and he's performing very well as a rookie, in my opinion. Devon Campbell looked good. Derwin James, Michael Davis, Joey Bosa, yada, yada, yada. Some of these guys playing through injuries. Chargers are looking good. Brandon Staley's looking good. Herbert is the LA Chargers. The reason he is changing them is because time after time, year after year, more so in the Phillip Rivers era, just more so any time before Justin Herbert, basically. Let's put it that way. The Chargers have had rosters of which they've looked good. Dan Fouts, and then they had Phillip Rivers, and LT, and Antonio Gates, and Vincent Jackson, RIP him. They've had units of rosters, and time after time, we've all heard it's the Chargers. They'll mess up, they'll choke, they won't get through. It's always, no matter the expectations, they don't live up to it. That was the past 25 years, and I'll give credit to you. That is true. But they've never had a Justin Herbert. They've never had a quarterback that has had this high of a ceiling. Has Phillip Rivers played as a top 10 quarterback before? Of course. But have we ever seen Phillip Rivers show this type of raw skill and pure talent just out of a God-given skill? No. Justin Herbert has one of the highest ceilings in the NFL. And that is why he is changing the LA Chargers, because you cannot tell me the old saying of, oh, it's the Chargers, they won't live up to expectations. Well, we haven't seen Justin Herbert. He's got another 15 years in the NFL if he keeps his body right at least. And, of course, obviously he doesn't just shit himself. I don't know, whereas in he plays badly, not actually shit himself, my bad. But just shit the bed of sucking out of nowhere if he stays healthy. Herbert's going to have a long career, and you can't tell me he is not shifting this organization, shifting this franchise. He's going to be the reason Brandon Staley has a job for a long time. Not saying Brandon Staley wouldn't be a good head coach, but when you got a great quarterback to make you look good no matter what, Brandon Staley's going to have a job for a long time. The GM's going to be looking good, Tom Telesco, and this team is going to be in competition for a long time because the Chargers haven't had this type of QB ceiling ever. That is why he's shaping the LA Chargers, because the LA Chargers have never had this before. San Diego Chargers, even back to them, of course, because the LA's only been around for so long. But The Chargers are the real deal. It's early. I'm not saying they're winning the Super Bowl by any means. Last year we saw the Bucs get pounded by the Saints in the regular season, and then who won the Super Bowl? Who won in the playoffs? The Bucs beat the Saints. The Bucs won the Super Bowl. So don't take too much into this. It's a notable win. It's something to at least take something away from. I'm just saying, don't all of a sudden make you think Chargers own the Chiefs and they're going to run to the Super Bowl. Super Bowl aspirations are great. High expectations are great. Positivity and optimism is great. But don't let that deter you away from the fine line between optimism and delusion. But with the LA Chargers having Justin Herbert, he is changing this franchise for the better for the next 10, 15, maybe 20 years of being a competitive franchise that can compete week in, week out, drive in, drive out, year in, year out. The Chargers are changing. Just to me, you can no longer use and say the excuse the Chargers don't live up to it no matter what. They always have talk. They won't live up to expectations. I've seen several people that I respect and follow on other social media as far as their takes go predict the Chargers to be 6-11, and I was like, that's crazy. Could they be surprising and not be this 12-5, 11-6, 10-7 team that I expect them to be? Maybe slip up a little to 9-8, 8-9. Anything can happen, of course. Someone could get hurt, yada yada yada. But 6-11 seems outrageous to me. This team is going to go places in the future. I think they could be a wild card team this year. They could be in contention for the division. Right now, the division, I can't really say they're going to win it or lose it. It's just so messy. Who would have thought? I want to know what money someone could have won if they predicted this type of record entering Week 4. Chiefs 1-2, Broncos and Raiders yet to lose, and the Chargers beat the Chiefs. That had to be some crazy parlay and some money right there if you bet on that. But kudos to the Chargers. Chiefs kind of gave it to them in some aspects of the turnovers, the fumbles, the interceptions. But Chargers, it doesn't matter what happened, what you say what happened. Chargers got the next one at home. Chiefs are going to be hungry. They are going to be looking for revenge. But the Chargers got this one. They split with the Chiefs. That's what I wanted this year. No matter what happens next, this is what I wanted. I wanted the Chargers to split with the Chiefs this year, and it is done. No matter what happens after this. So kudos to them. Kudos to LA. Kudos to Justin Herbert. Kudos to this franchise altering and changing and breaking themselves away from the Chargers cannot live up to the hype. I know it's early. I know Justin Herbert hasn't even played in a playoff game yet. I understand that. But just this type of raw talent and this type of ceiling has never walked across the quarterback position of LA. The only one you can make the argument of having a super high ceiling and being an absolute baller is Drew Brees, but even then we didn't know what he would be, and that was a whole different situation, a whole other video to talk about. But still, I'm loving Herbert. I'm loving what the Chargers are doing, and I'm excited for Week 4 versus Raiders. That's a lot on the line. For Raiders to go 4-0 and the Chargers fall back to 500, or the Chargers should say, we're now 2-0 in this division, and we are coming for this division. We're 3-1, and we should be 4-0. We're coming for it. We got Herbert. We got Staley. We got the squad. And just wait till next year when we got more money, we got more offseason, we got more picks, and we're going to continue to stack up. I'm excited for this Chargers team. Justin Herbert's changing them, and I think they'll be in the hunt this year to make a playoff run. You guys tell me, though, what you think. Do you agree with me? Is there anything, any player, any play, anything about this game I should have mentioned, anything you want to hear about? Comment down below. I'll respond to you guys. But as always, and of course, thanks for watching, guys. 2-minute warning.